Introduction to health, hygiene, and sanitation. In this course, we are going to be talking about what is hygiene, what is sanitation. First and foremost, let us talk about the simplest definition of health. What do you mean by health? Health is a state of being free from illness or injury, or a mental or physical condition of a person. It can also be defined as physical, mental, and social well-being, and as a resource for living a full life. It is referring not only to the absence of disease, but the ability to recover and bounce back from illness and other problems. That is, it is not only when we are down with any sort of sickness or disease, but it is also our ability, even when we are down with any disease, it is also our ability to bounce back, to recover fully. And this is, is as a result of our immunity. If you have a good immunity, the recovery aspect of it will be very, very fast. It will be speedy. So, like I said, it can also be defined as a physical, mental, and social well-being, and as a result for a full of living a full life. It is also not only the absence of disease, but the ability to recover and bounce back from illness and other problems. Factors for good health include genetics, the environment, relationships, and education. These are the factors. So, what is the importance of health? The tried saying that is health is wealth explains the importance of health. Health is central to human happiness, important contribution to economic progress. Good health brings about reduction in the rate of absenteeism and increased turnover in the production processes or setting. That is, if in a certain environment, if majority or greater percentage of the workforce, if they are healthy, so there will be no truancy, there will be no room for absenteeism, and in such uh, industry or establishment, there will be increase in their production, and because there will be increase in economic uh, in so there will be increase in the turnover of the production setting. So then hygiene. Hygiene is a series of practice performed to preserve health. It also refers to condition and practice that help to maintain health and prevent the spread of disease such as polio and SARS-CoV-2. That is, hygiene is a series of practice. That is, hygiene is not just a one-way traffic. It is the combination of series of things that we do, that we practice to preserve our health. That is, to make us not to fall sick at every given point in time. It is also refers to the condition and practice to maintain good health and also to prevent the spread of diseases such as polio. For instance, you know when a child is playing with sand or some dirty things, and at the end of the day such a child, maybe the mother or the father didn't feel concerned about washing the child's hand. At the end of the day, if the child has been infected with with the polio virus in his hand, and such a child use that kind of hand to eat anything, digest anything, such a child can easily contact what we know as polio like. So, and at the same time we all know what NCDC, their major campaign, always wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. So these are some of the ways by which hygiene can prevent the spread of disease. Hygiene is any practice or activity that we do to keep things healthy and clean. Washing hands, coughing into elbow, and regular house cleaning are all part of good hygiene. Personal hygiene include the following: washing the body often, cleaning of teeth at least this cleaning of the teeth at least once a day. If you like, you can wash your teeth twice, maybe first thing in the morning and the last thing at night. But at least you must clean your teeth once a day. Then washing the hair with soap or shampoo at least once a week. Washing and after going to the toilet, washing hands with soap and water before preparing eat your food. Wearing of clothes is also part of good hygiene. Then cutting of nails. You know, at times our nails is about of all these are good personal hygiene. You know, all these are these are things we do as an individual. That is why they so all these are good personal hygiene. So it does not only benefit individual but also impact in the lives of people in the society. That is, then we move to sanitation. What is sanitation? Is sanitation, is it different from hygiene or are they the same thing? So let's quickly look to sanitation. Sanitation is the effective of tools and actions that keeps our environment healthy. These include toilets, that is to manage our waste, food preparation, effective drainage, and other such mechanisms. Sanitation refers to public health conditions related to clean drinking water and adequate treatment and disposal of human excreta and sewage, preventing human contact with feces. This is feces. With feces is part of sanitation. Washing hands with soap and water and general environment. So these are hygiene and environmental sanitation. So countries of the world like United Kingdom and Switzerland are leading countries as regards the best practices of sanitation. Sanitation is of sanitation at home include emptying, that is you empty your dustbin regularly, not that you keep packing things there. So you have a lot of what is things filter the land. So you empty your dustbin regularly. Kitchen maintenance. You maintain your kitchen very well. Keeping house free of dust. That is, you clean the dust generated in the house regularly and tidying up living room and bedroom. All these are sanitation. So we now move to water mission. I believe by now we should be able to distinguish between hygiene and sanitation. That is personal hygiene and environmental sanitation. We should be able to distinguish between them. So let us move to water mission. Water mission is a non-profit Christian engineering organization based in North Charleston, South Carolina, in the United States of America. This non-profit organization company, they design, build, and implement safe water, sanitation, and hygiene solutions for people in developing countries and disaster areas. That is Water Mission. Water Mission is a non-profit Christian engineering organization. That is an establishment, a non-profit establishment that is based in North Southern, in South Carolina of the United States of America. What is their major work? They design, save water. They design, they build, and implement safe water, sanitation, and hygiene. That is for the people in developing countries. Not only in developing countries, also in disaster areas. Since 2001, Water Mission claims to have provided access safe water for more than 3 million people in 52 countries of the world. Water Mission has over 200 staff members working around the world in permanent countries program located in Africa, Asia, North, South, and Central America. Water Mission was founded by George and Molly Green in 2001 as a non-profit organization. Education and information about global water. So that is all we need to know about Water Mission. Like I said, Water Mission is a non-profit organization located in the United States of America. And their major objectives is to design, build, and implement safe water and hygiene for people in developing countries and disaster areas. So, and since 2001, Water Mission claims to have provided access to water, that is potable water, for more than 50 years. So Water Mission has over 200 staff members working around the world in permanent country programs located in Africa, Asia, North, South, and Central America. So Water Mission was unique. Education and information and and hygiene term used when we are talking of environmental sanitation and the water projects. When we are talking of environmental sanitation and water projects, wash, that is water, sanitation, and hygiene, including disease related, are challenging to many countries of the world. Obviously, sanitation and hygiene are critical to health, survival, and development. That is, sanitation and hygiene, these two terms, they are critical to health. So they are also critical to our survival and at the same time, our development. So if we are talking of health, survival of human race, development of human race, we must talk about sanitation and hygiene. Throughout the world, an estimated 2.4 billion people lack basic sanitation. Basic sanitation is described as having access to facilities for the safe disposal of human waste, that is feces and urine, as well as having is described as having access to facilities for safe disposal of human waste. What are human waste? That is uh, so we move to water. This water is another subtopic under healthcare management one, that is personal hygiene and children. Water. What is water? We all know water. Water. Water is a substance. Water is a substance composed of the chemical elements hydrogen and oxygen and existing in gaseous, liquid, and solid states. That is, water exists in three states: gaseous states, liquid states, and solid states. So these are the three states of water. Water is tasteless and odorless. That is, it is tasteless and odorless. Liquid at room temperature. It is one of the most plentiful and essential of all compounds. That is, it is readily available. It is abundant in nature. It is one of the most plentiful and essential of compounds. It has ability to dissolve many other substances. Water carries nutrients to all cells in our body and oxygen to our brain. That is one of the major importance of water. Water carries nutrients to all cells in our body and oxygen to our brain. Water allows the body to absorb and assimilate minerals, vitamins, amino acids, glucose, and other substances. It is also it also flushes out toxins and waste in our body system, and also help to regulate the body temperature. That is, when most of the toxins in our body system, it is through the help of water that most of these toxins and waste are being flushed out, and also help to regulate our body temperature. It is vital for all forms of life, even though it provides no calories or organic nutrients. That is, a, a normal water is very, very vital for all forms of life, though it provides no calorie. That is, it gives us no calorie. It gives no calorie to the body system or any organic nutrient. Yet, it is very, very, very vital forms of life. Therefore, water is one of the most important substances on earth. All plants and animals must have water to survive. If there are no water, there will be no life. That is, water is life. So, what are the sources of water? We are going to talk of two major sources of water. There are two major sources of water, which are surface water and groundwater. Surface water is found in lakes, rivers, and reservoirs. Groundwater lies under the surface of the land, where it travels through and fills openings in the rock. The rocks that store and transmit groundwater are aquifers. Another known source of water is rainfall. Rainwater can be captured and stored for future use through rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is a type of harvest in which the raindrops are collected and stored for the future use rather than allowing them to run off. The harvested water can also be used as drinking water, longer storage, and for other purposes. It is the simplest and oldest method of self-supply of water for household, usually financed by the user. That is the simplest method of water, is the simplest and oldest source of water to our household, most especially in the developing countries. Another known source of water, like I've said, is rainwater. And rainwater contains a mixed electrolyte. So, health risk as a result of waterborne diseases. So, this is another topic, subtopic. So, what are the health risks as a result of waterborne diseases? Waterborne diseases are conditions, when we are talking of health risk of waterborne diseases. So, first and foremost, we must understand what is meant by waterborne diseases. This is coronavirus a waterborne disease? Is yellow fever a waterborne disease? So, these are things we need to know. What are the disease conditions that are classified as waterborne disease? That is diseases that are caused by unsafe water. Waterborne diseases are organisms that are transmitted in water. These diseases are caused by a variety of microorganisms, biotoxins, and toxic contaminants, which lead to devastating illnesses such as cholera by pathogenic microorganisms that are transmitted in water. These diseases are caused by a variety of microorganisms, biotoxins, and toxic contaminants, which lead to devastating illnesses such as cholera, typhoid fever, dysentery, polio, and hepatitis A. These diseases can be spread or transmitted by drinking unsafe water, bathing, and washing contaminated water, or by eating contaminated food. That is, these diseases can be spread or can be transmitted by drinking unsafe water or using unsafe water to bathe, and at the same time using unsafe water for washing or using it to cook food. So if you use a contaminated water to cook food, so it is very, very risky. Diarrhea and vomiting are the most common symptoms. That is, diarrhea and vomiting are the most are the most common symptoms. So that is, if you come across somebody that is frequently going to the toilet, or such a person at the same time is vomiting, so these are some of the likely symptoms, the most common symptoms of somebody having a waterborne disease. While other symptoms include ear, skin, eye, and respiratory problems. That is, these are other symptoms, but the most two common symptoms are diarrhea and vomiting. But other symptoms can also include ear, skin, eye, and respiratory problems. Waterborne diseases
Mr. Falabi, please you'll be muted. Please unmute yourself. Mr. Falabi, you'll be muted. Please unmute yourself. Mr. Falabi, please you'll be muted. Unmute yourself. Please, Mr. Afolabi, please unmute your phone. Unmute yourself. You are still muted. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, I believe you can hear me now. So we are now talking we are quickly going through some of the common waterborne diseases. We talk about typhoid fever, cholera, dysentery, then hepatitis A. It's a liver infection caused by consuming contaminated food and water or by coming in close contact with someone who has the infection. Symptoms include fatigue, jaundice, nausea, abdominal pain, and loss of appetite. The best way to prevent it is by being vaccinated. So these are just some of the common waterborne diseases. So by now we'll be moving to another subtopic, and the subtopic is there are some activities that we know as communal activities that we carry out as a day-to-day activities in our society. So, and such communal activities, they may have adverse or negative effects on the environment and on the human being as well. So, some of the communal activities that we are talking about is farming, soil erosion, then fertilizer application, herbicides, insecticide, use of herbicide and insecticide, and waste disposal. That is both human and animal waste, and also commercial and industrial waste. So these are some of human activities. All these phenomena, they are carried out or by human being. That is by as a result of human activities. So, and all these activities, some of them, we are doing these activities for a particular purpose. By doing it, it also affects our society, our environment, and we human beings, that is the habitat of that environment, negatively. So, like I've mentioned earlier, these are some of the communal activities. That is farming, soil erosion, herbicides, insecticide, waste disposal, both human and animal waste, commercial and industrial waste. So let's talk about fertilizer. Fertilizer is any material of natural or synthetic origin that is applied to the growth of plants. They are natural or artificial substances containing the chemical elements that improve growth and productiveness of plants. Mm. So fertilizer are strictly regulated by a concerned authority right from the production stage to consumer level. However, if the regulations are compromised, it can affect the health of individual groups and society at large. Contaminated water may contain high level of nitrite and nitrates, causing hemoglobin disorder. That is, if water is contaminated by fertilizer, it will increase the level of nitrate and nitrites, causing hemoglobin disorder in human beings. Fertilizer also contains heavy metals such as mercury, lead, cadmium, and uranium, which causes disturbances in the kidney, lungs, and liver, which can cause cancer. Apart from waterway pollution, chemical fertilizer can also burn crops, increase air pollution, acidification of the soil, and mineral depletion of the soil. Plant fertilizer can poison people and pets if they are inhaled or accidentally ingested. It can also cause skin irritation if in contact with the skin. So this is the discussion on fertilizer as part of communal activity being carried out by human being. So let's quickly go to our earlier. Communal activities directly affects the health of individual and groups, include herbicides, insecticides, human waste, human waste, and animal waste. Elucidate. That is the first assignment. The second one, what are the major processes of water cycle? I come again. Number one, communal activities. What are the communal activities we are talking about? That is application of herbicides, insecticide, human waste, and animal waste. Directly affect the health of individual and groups. Then, in what ways? Elucidate. So this is the question. Then, question two, what are the major processes of water cycle? Submit to temitopemedia@gmail.com. Some are actually submitted. So those that are yet to submit, please kindly submit on time. Then we now move to water cycle. The water cycle, also known as hydrological or hydrological cycle, describes the continuous movement of water on, above, or below the surface of the earth. The mass of water on earth remains fairly constant over time, but the partitioning of the water into major reservoirs of ice, fresh water, saline water, and atmospheric water is variable depending on a wide range of climatic variables. The moves from one reservoir to another, such as from river to ocean or from the ocean to the atmosphere, by the physical process of evaporation, condensation, precipitation, surface runoff, infiltration, and substance flow. As a result of this, the water goes through different forms of liquid, which to temperature. When temperature evaporates, it takes up energy and cools the environment. When it condenses, it releases energy and warms the environment. These heat exchanges influence climate change. You normally hear of climate change, climate change. So these are some of the factors that influences climate change. However, the evaporative phases of the cycle purify water, which then replenish the land with fresh water. It is also involved in reshaping the geological features of the earth through the processes including sedimentation and erosion. The water cycle is essential for the maintenance of most life and the ecosystem on the planet. Water is essential for life, as we all know. It is present throughout the solar system and was part of the earth from its formation. The water cycle is the cycle that water goes through on earth. That is, the water is the process of our water cycle. So these are the processes. Water cycle is important because it is how water reaches the plant. That is why that is the importance of water cycle. Water cycle is important because it is how water reaches plants, animals, and human beings. Besides, it also moves things like nutrients, pathogens, and sediments in and out of aquatic ecosystem. The uses of water. What are the uses of water? Water, water can be used for direct and indirect purpose. Direct purposes use of water. These include, that is, we are talking of use of water. And I said water can be used in two ways. That is for direct purpose and indirect purpose. For direct purposes of water include bathing, drinking, and cooking. And indirect purposes include water usage for industrial processes such as agriculture, wood, steel, for automobile, and all water, that is all water being used for industrial processes in all our industries. That is the indirect water storage, water in for like I said earlier, water storage. Water storage means holding water in a contained area for a period of time. Water storage can be natural or artificial. That is, you can store water in a natural way or in an artificial way. Natural water storage occurs in all parts of hydrological cycle. Water can be stored in the atmosphere, on the surface of the earth, or below the ground. Artificial storage is done by a variety of reasons and is done on small and large scales. Water storage locations are commonly referred to as reservoir. Water contamination and prevention. Water may get contaminated by contaminants. These are physical, chemical, biological or radiological substances in water. Drinking water may reasonably be expected to contain at least small amounts of contaminants. Some contaminants may be harmful if consumed at certain level in drinking water. The presence of contaminants does not necessarily indicate that the water poses a health risk. These contaminants may be naturally occurring or man-made, that is, artificially made. Examples of chemical contaminants include nitrogen, bleach, salt, pesticide, metal, toxin produced by bacteria. Biological contaminants are organisms in water, that is, microbiological contaminants. Water contamination can be prevented through avoid number one, that is, when we avoid hardscape surfaces. Then number two, pick up after non-degradable products in the toilet or sink should be discouraged. Number three, reduction in the use of pesticide. Number four, planting of trees. Number five, water conservation. Number six, reduce plastics consumption. Number seven, installation of water efficient appliances. Then we move to purification of water. Purification of water is the process of removing undesirable elements. Because if water is contaminated, what do? We purify it to make the water to be safe for drinking and other purposes. So we now move to purification of water. Purification of water is the process of removing undesirable chemicals, biological contaminants, suspended solids, and gaseous from water. The aim is to produce water fit for specific purposes. Most water purified and disinfected for human consumption, that is cooking and drinking. But water are also purified for other purposes, such as for medical purpose, pharmacological purpose, chemical and other industrial purposes. Visual inspection determines if water is of appropriate quality. That is, if you do a physical inspection, if you look at water sample physically, you can it can determine whether the water is however, simple techniques for treating water at home, such as chlorination, filter, and solar, and disinfection and storing it in safe container could save a number of lives. Water purification techniques include boiling, granular activated carbon absorption, distillation, membrane distillation, and distillation. Disease contracted as a result of parasite in water. That is, parasites are organisms that live on or in a host and get its food from the host at the expense of the host. Most of most of these diseases becomes when the water becomes contaminated by parasites. That is, people get all these diseases when the water becomes contaminated as a result of presence of parasites. Contaminated water is a serious problem that can cause severe pain disability, and even death if not properly treated. Some of the diseases are that is these are diseases caused by contaminated water as a result of presence of parasites. Such diseases include schistosomiasis, that is a disease caused by infection with freshwater parasitic worms in certain tropical and subtropical countries. The fresh water becomes contaminated from infected animal or human feces or urine. The parasite penetrates fever, chills, cough, stomach pain, itching skin, muscle aches, and joint pain. It can be treated. That is, treatment. An infected person may get better by themselves within a week or a few weeks. It's still important to get treated because the parasite can remain in the body and lead to a long-term problem. That is, if somebody is infected with this kind of disease, even without taking drugs, it may such a person may appear to be getting better. However, it is highly, it is very, very advisable, very, very necessary, very, very important for such a person to seek for medical treatment because the parasite can remain in the body and lead to a long-term problem. It can be successfully treated with a short course of a medication known as paracetamol. That is, this is the normal drug. It kills the worms. Prevention, that is, it can be prevented. So there is no vaccine form for schistosomiasis. It is, however, important to be aware of the risk and take necessary precaution. So these are the ways of preventing it. Then we go to river blindness. This is another uh, disease that can be caused as a result of parasites in a contaminated water. So river blindness, a parasitic tropical disease that affects the skin and eye. The disease is spread by reported bites from infected black flies, most commonly found in remote African villages. The symptoms often, that is, symptoms often don't appear for up to 1 or 2 years after infection. So the major symptoms include skin nodules and itching may develop, eye infection, that is, there will be eye infection which can also lead to vision changes, and if not properly taken care of, it can lead to blindness. Its treatment consists use of antibiotics and antiparasitic drugs. A drug known as ivermectin, that is ivermectin. These particular drugs paralyzes and kills the microfilariae. This is the causative agent, microfilariae. So these particular antibiotics paralyzes and kills microfilariae. This particular ivermectin is one of the drugs that is being considered for the treatment of uh, coronavirus. So it is still under consideration. So it is an antibiotic. So it paralyzes and kills microfilaria, that is the causative agent. River blindness is also known as onchocerciasis. Yes. Intestinal worms or parasitic worms are simple organisms that feed on. Mr. Omi? Hello, Mr. Omi.
Please unmute yourself.
Hello, Mr. Omi.
I can hear you. I
Hello, Mr.
can hear you.
Omi.
I
We are
can
talking
hear you.
about treatment that I said the treatment. Eh, okay, thank you. I said treatment consists of use of antibiotics and the antiparasitic drugs. A drug known as ivermectin paralyzes and kills the microfilaria. So then, and I said the symptoms include loss of appetite, fatigue, abdominal pain, bloating, nausea, and weight loss. However, symptoms may also varies depending on the exact causative agent. That is, if the any of these causative agents depend on any of these causative agents that will determine the exact symptoms. Treatment of some types of intestinal worm such as these are some of the drugs that are being used that can be used for the treatment over time. Whether solid, liquid, or gas, and each type have different methods of disposal and management. Waste is produced as a result of human activity. Waste management or waste disposal. It is the activity and actions required. These include collection, transportation, treatment, and disposal of waste, together with monitoring and regulation of the waste management process. Disposal of human waste, that is human feces. Human feces or urine are biohazardous waste. If not professionally treated, it can easily cause disease. That is safe disposal of excreta so that it does not contaminate the environment. Water, food is essential for ensuring a healthy environment and for protection of personal health. Another technologies have been employed to actually actually dispose it successfully so that the environment will not be contaminated, and by so doing human being will not be contaminated as well. So these are some of the technologies that have been developed. Cartage number one, that is using a latrine system of disposing human waste. So although is the oldest style, so also talk of pit latrines. So normal pit latrine. Then we also talk of septic tanks. So the use of these are some of the major ways of disposing human waste. So then we talk of animal waste. Animal waste may cause water, soil, and air pollution, but if properly and judiciously managed, they are valuable resources. The main uses of animal waste are resources of plant nutrients, that is fertilizer, and animal nutrients, that is feed. So what we are trying to say in essence is that animal waste may cause water pollution. Animal waste may cause soil and air pollution as well. But if properly managed and usually managed, they are valuable resources. So they can be used for fertilizer, and they can also be used for as animal nutrient for feed, to feed animals. So these are some of the uses of animal waste. So you can as well read up in this area. You are all scientists. So let me quickly go back to so let me quickly go back to uh, so let's go back to the assignments once again. Let's quickly go back to the assignment once again, because our time is fast approaching to the end of the lecture. Yeah, please and please, if you are answering these questions, I want you to be extremely careful in order to give me uh, the appropriate answer. So, and at the same time, I want to enjoin us and to employ us to sit and read, do more research work. Don't just Google search anything searchable and send it directly to me. I I need your answer. I need your answer in your own. There's no like that. I really want to see your input. So I said communal activities, herbicides, insecticides, human waste, and animal waste. All these ones, they are part of it, of the communal activities we are talking about. And I said directly affect human health. They affect the health of individual and groups. Then elucidate. So these are things you can work on, please. Then what are the major processes of water cycle? The major processes of water cycle. So I want we all pass, we all come out in flying colors. I'm very sure, I'm aware of that because I know the kind of students we are taking. So I wish each and every one of us the best of luck. So these are this is all we have as regards healthcare management. One, personal hygiene, children. That is, next time I say stay safe and God bless you all. Thank you.